What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Mike Needler music lesson. Today we're going to talk about suspended chords. I had a couple people reach out to me and ask me about clarifying suspended chords after my rhythm guitar suggestions video, link in the description. And so in this video we're going to talk about what suspended chords are, how to use them, and get a little bit into the music theory of it. Now I know what you're thinking. Man, Mike, your beard looks great right now.
Thank you. It's genetic and unattainable.
No, I'm just kidding. People get uncomfortable when we start talking about music theory if they're not familiar with a lot of it. I always tell my students, music theory is less about a series of intense rules and more about a series of suggestions and observations. Here's what I mean. Beethoven, back in the day, when he was writing his music, he didn't have a book of like, these are the rules of music. He was doing everything by ear. A lot of what is now music theory was just observing the musical geniuses who have helped build it to what it is. So anyway, we're gonna delve very, very lightly into music theory. First, let's talk about what makes up a chord. A chord is made up of the root, the third, and the fifth at its most basic triad level. We can have all sorts of stuff on top of that, but that's like the basic building block. Root, the third, and the fifth. The third is what determines whether a chord is major or minor. So here's what I mean. If we're talking in C major, for example, so C major chord, the root, C, the major third, E, and the fifth, G. If it's a minor chord, it'd be C, E flat, and G. So C and G are the same, but the third is where we determine whether it's major or minor. So why does that matter? A suspended chord, basically, all we're doing is we're taking the third and we're moving it to either the second, so down a step, or the fourth, so up a step. So instead of having C, E, G, we could have C, E, G, suspended second. Or C, F, G. Suspended fourth. So it's pretty, that's it, that's all there is to it. It's really simple. So why would we ever want to use this? Well, as I said in my rhythm video, you can use suspended chords to take the place of major chords in a progression. So we can use suspended chords to create motion within the chord itself, like the length of what that chord gets to be played. So here's what I mean by that. So if we were playing a song and maybe it's like E flat to C, or to F to C, suspended, and back. Or if you like classic rock and you've ever listened to The Who, Pinball Wizard by The Who is all just suspended chords. It gives a little more flavor and a little more motion to your progression, which is awesome. So suspended four chords are often used at the end of a turnaround, going back to the start of the progression. So here's another example. It's Stevie Wonder's Sir Duke, and just the chorus. So it's a B major, and minor, E minor 7. Right here, coming back into the B, is F sharp suspended. And what's cool about that, if you want to get a little deeper into music theory, the F sharp in the key of B is the 5. The 5 is like the best chord to go back to the root from. And we can get into that in a different video. But basically it's, if we talk about cadences, the 5 to the 1 is a very powerful cadence. It just feels like it wants to resolve, and then it resolves. So what's cool about the 5 with the suspended is that we're actually hitting the root note B. So you have that, and it just sounds really nice and musical and smooth and all that stuff. And suspended second chords, I think, are really, really beautiful to use over a major chord. So if we have something like, they're not complicated, they're easy to use, especially when you know how to use them. And actually, I'll show you my favorite use of the suspended second chord. So if you're familiar with bar chords, you know that there's basically two forms of bar chords. There's bar chords based off the low E string, and there's bar chords based off the A string. And I'm doing major bar chords here, but the same thing applies for minor and everything else. But anyway, so suspended second chords are really easy to do off of the A string bar chord form. So if we have D right here, D major bar chord, it's basically like we turn it into a power chord, which is just the root, the 5th root, but we just bar our finger down, and that automatically lands on the suspended second. It actually becomes easier to play than the normal bar chord. But yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. I hope it helped you understand suspended chords a little better. If you know of any songs that use suspended chords, put them in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.